Could you live in a murder house? That is the question we have today as we tour this house at 14 Queen Street in Charleston. Now, this is in the historic French Quarter. Before we get into the murder and all of the other history of this home, we're going to take a look at it and we're going to talk about some of the details and everything that makes this house wonderful apart from just a crazy story. So, again, 14 Queen Street. Huge shout out to my friend Michael Furlong, listing agent with Carolina One, for letting us tour this home. So, we have a price on this home at $2,759,000. It was built approximately around 1830 and is just under 3,000 square feet, about 2,977 if you want to be exact, somewhere right around there. Now, it is 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. So as we head back here, we are checking out the courtyard first, which is common in a lot of these French Quarter homes. You know, they don't sit on big lots, but you do have these little courtyards. This is amazing. You can see St. Philip steeple from back here. You can also see it from upstairs in the bedroom, so stick around for that as well. Now, there is no off-street parking here, but in this little area, you have this cool little storage area as well. So you have some outdoor storage, you have some outdoor living, and you have an amazing house with what you're about to hear soon, an amazing story. So as we get into this home, you will notice that there are original wide plank heart of pine floors with tall ceilings, working fireplaces, a metal roof that is historically appropriate for the era. And it has this little sign, which is not original. And when translated into English, it pretty much just says entry forbidden to drunk people, breathalyzer required. So not my kind of house. But anyways, here we go as we head inside. And this right here is the room where the murder happened, also known as the candlestick murders, because I don't want to make you wait any longer. So we're just going to tell this crazy story of these candlestick murders. We'll talk about the rest of the history of the house after that. So it is the year 1958, and it is Halloween night of all nights for this to happen. And we have Jack Dobbins. Now, Jack Dobbins was 30 years old. He was a chemical company executive, and he had moved to Charleston and was renting this house. And he'd only been here for 2 years, and he was sharing it with a man named Edward Stanforth, O-T. I don't know, O-T-E-Y. Anyways, and he was a 25-year-old medical student at MUSC. Dobbins was part of a very discreet gay community in Charleston, which in the 1950s had faced some severe social stigma and legal persecution. And during this time, he frequently volunteered to bartend at a bar called Club 49. Now, this was up on King Street and actually advertised itself as, quote, the gayest spot in town. Now, it operated as a mixed gay and straight bar. And it was one of the few semi-safe spaces where gay men could socialize during this era of pretty intense homophobia. So on that Halloween night, hold on, we gotta do it. What up? You know, we gotta do that in all the mirrors. So sorry about that. So on that Halloween night, Jack Dobbins was volunteering as the bartender at Club 49. He got there around 10 o'clock, and that's where he met a man named John Mahon. He was an 18-year-old airman 3rd class stationed at the local Air Force Base. Now, after serving him some drinks, they decided to continue their evening at the Elbow Cocktail Bar. But Mahon was denied entry because he could not comply with the dress code. So they returned to 14 Queen Street in the early morning hours. So now we have moved on to November 1st. Now, what happened in the home is really only according to Mahon's later testimony, where he says that Dobbins served him whiskey and made what he said were, quote, improper advances. Now, Mahon claimed he fled to the upstairs bathroom, and when he returned, he found Dobbins unclothed in the living room. He then retrieved the brass candlestick from Dobbins' bedroom and struck him 3 or 4 times after Dobbins allegedly grabbed him. Dobbins was found later that morning by his house cleaner, Elizabeth Bryant, and the coroner later determined that Dobbins had died between 2 and 7 a.m. from a triple fracture to the skull that was caused by 9 consecutive blows to the back of the head. And during the investigation, there were found to be no defensive wounds except for bloodstains on the wall and sofa, and there were no signs of a violent struggle. And the lack of defensive injuries suggests the attack surprised Dobbins, which does contradict Mahon's claim of self-defense, which we'll get into in a second. After reading about the death in the newspapers, Mahon actually voluntarily surrendered to the authorities, and he possessed several key items. There was a lighter, a door key, a money clip, chain, a silver nail file, and $23 in cash, all items that appeared to have come from Dobbins. The trial for John Mahon was on December 9th of 1958, so just over a month later. And here's where it gets interesting, because the defense employed what would later to be termed as the gay panic defense. Now, he claimed that Mahon was fearing for his, quote, virginity, had acted in self-defense against unwanted sexual advances. Now, neither side addressed the obvious inconsistencies with his narrative and why he didn't simply leave when Dobbins allegedly became, quote, too handsy, or even why he had been patronizing a bar known for its gay clientele while wearing dungarees and a leather jacket, which was attire associated with mid-century gay subculture. There's just a lot of holes in this story. After it was all said and done, the jury deliberated for more than 4 hours and returned a verdict of not guilty. The use of the gay panic defense in this case was and is documented by scholars as a pivotal moment in Charleston's LGBTQ history. So what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about how all of that transpired back in the 50s, and if you would still live in a home that candlestick murders happened in. Now let's get into a little bit of a happier history about this home, and it was also a bakery in the early 1900s. Now, this is where the house gets its name, Gustav Bernhard Marl. Now, he was a German immigrant from Saxony, and he opened the bakery in 1902, and then he purchased the building in 1907. While also residing on site, he used the rear dependency as a storehouse. Now, the bakery, Marl's Bakery, became a fixture of the domestic life in Charleston, and it was known for its pumpernickel bread, stolen bread, which is like kind of Christmas bread, I guess, and horse cakes, which I had never heard of. They're a type of gingerbread. So that little bit happier history as opposed to those candlestick murders. So, all right, now we're heading up to this third floor. Let's talk back about this house one more time. I mean, this is such a great house. Everything has been updated. When we come up here to this third floor, I want to note that I'm 6 feet tall. I could only stand in the middle of these rooms. Otherwise, I hit my head. So this would be great if there are small children that are staying with you, or if you want to put some family up here that you don't want to stay very long. As my mother used to tell me, family and fish, they start to stink after 3 days. As we head and we look back, we're going to see there is a bathroom up here as well. It does have a shower, so you can put people up here, even though the ceiling is very, very low. Now, the shower is in the middle, so it can't, if you are 6 feet, you can stand up in there. Anything taller than that, you might have a little issue. So 2 bedrooms up here. Now, guys, if you're new here, my name is Bill Olson, and I am a local realtor here in Charleston. So if you are interested in this home, another home maybe where there wasn't a murder, you've got a home to sell, or any home really, I would love and be honored for the opportunity to work with you. So just go ahead, depending on what platform you're on, shoot me a DM, shoot me a text, email, DM, I think I said that, whatever. I am happy to help. Look out this window here. We kind of got through the screen, but have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next tour.